Hello and welcome to the mill. I am your co-host Dusty, and I am joined today by Carol
Hi
and
guys.
Molly.
Hello, y'all.
And we thought we would go ahead and the cat, of course.
Yep, and Cressida.
All
Hi,
right, Cressida
warrior
is
princess
joining
here.
us as well. So we thought we would talk today about Geekway, kind of the highlights and what we played there, and what we enjoyed about the experience. Talk a little bit about some of the booths we saw, maybe some of the things we picked up. Also, we're going to talk a little bit of the Wednesday e-newsletter that came out just recently. And finally, we're going to talk a little bit of expeditions. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pass this over to Carol, who has the list of questions and is far more organized than me to kind of kick off the discussion.
All right. So one of the things that we thought we would go through, much like Jamie did last Sunday, he talked about what some of his and his coworkers' favorite games and experiences were at Geekway. So since we have three other faces here, I thought we would start off with that. So we're going to talk about what either our favorite games and or experiences are. And I'm going to let Molly start because hers is one that I also really liked.
Sure. So my favorite game was actually the first game I played at Geekway, which was Guild of Merchant Explorers. Our friend Susanna, who works at Stonemaier, taught it to us right as soon as we arrived. And I would say it's in the flip and write style of game, even though there's no like dry erase involved. So that kind of made me think a little less of it. Not those games aren't great, but like mechanically than it was. But it was a lot of fun. And it could have just been the high of finally meeting Carol and Susanna in person. But any game we played that week, I just kept thinking of Guild of Merchant Explorers and thinking back to it. You said you also liked it, Carol?
Yeah, honestly, I think that was the perfect game because both Molly and I were like out of our separate cars, and that was what we got on the table. And it was the perfect intro to a new convention. It has like some strategic depth to it, but is light enough, so it makes it perfect to also catch up with one another. Said Molly and I had never met in person before. I think I had met Susanna for 5 minutes at Gen Con previously. So it was a very nice casual, oh, we can talk, but we can also play this game and learn this new game. So yeah, I agree. That was a great experience.
It was a really great experience. And it was the first game I ordered when I got home because I couldn't find it there at the convention.
Nice.
Another great memory about that game, Carol gave me this wonderful player color necklace. I got it in yellow, and that was just a fun moment.
Had to
That's
hook
a
you
game I
guys up
always
with
remember.
had to hook you guys up with your colors.
Yeah.
Dusty, what was your favorite game?
I'm probably going to cheat a little bit because I kind of have two. I kind of have the one that is significant because, like you mentioned, it was kind of like everyone sitting down at the table and playing. And so I had a really good time with the first game that we played together, which was the horse betting one. What was that called?
Ready, set, bet.
Ready, set, bet. And I will say, I do think it's a lot better with the app. I'm just trying to imagine dice being thrown, and you can kind of take your time when you're throwing dice, but the app kind of keeps things snappy, and you got to really be paying attention. And I'm sure I missed stuff along the way, but it was just so frantic. It was a good time. So for the kind of the sentimental reasons of having a chance to sit at the table with you guys, it would be that one. And then in terms of probably the gameplay wise, it's probably Hoplomachus Remastered, which is a gladiator combat. The version we played is I played with my son Josh. Was kind of like a duel in the gladiator arena, and you have a couple different asymmetric factions, and it's just the whoever defeats the other person's hero wins. And that's a Chip Theory Games game, and another company that's known for just really high presentation value. So I'm going to give it to Ready, Set, Bet and Hoplomachus Remastered.
Nice. Okay, well, if you cheated, then I'm going to cheat too. I'll go with the super sappy one. That'll partially also goes with my kids, and then I'll go for the another fun experience, just to do something different. But Susanna mentioned this in her video too with Jamie. We played Savernake Forest, which I had never heard of, and Susanna taught it to myself and my two sons, who were only there for one night. And oh my gosh, it's this adorable little like card drafting game. So you're making these little pads and you have these little cute animals that have to get their food. And there's all the different languages in the rule books. And we will forever now call hedgehogs Riccio. And I don't know if I'm even pronouncing that right, because that was the Italian version of hedgehog. My 7-year-old has a song now that goes with Riccio. So I will see. My eldest son was kind of hoping to chime in here, but he went to bed because, kid. So we'll see if we can get a clip in him so he can like describe it. But that was the most just heartwarming mom moment for me, and we actually ended up winning a copy of that in the play and win. So my kids are super excited. The other really cool experience, besides ones already mentioned, obviously, I got to play Challengers, and it was an 8-player game. I got to play with Jamie, Megan, and a bunch of their friends, and that game is a fantastic convention game. What my husband and I really liked is that you get personal time actually one-on-one with each player. So while it's like an 8-person kind of game or party game, you do these little tournaments and you have like a couple minutes where you're just one-on-one with each person. So even though we really didn't know anyone we were playing with, we had a blast kind of briefly getting to know everyone. And that's actually the one game we then bought because we were having people over the next weekend. So Challengers was the game I bought because of Geekway. So yeah, I recommend that one. And on that note, that was one of the plan wins. Molly, Dusty, either of you want to talk about what you thought of the plan win? Because Jamie's brought up several times that plan win is like the thing at Geekway.
Yeah, Molly, go ahead and take that one if you want.
Sure. So this was my first board game convention ever. So obviously I know what play and wins are, but I wasn't quite sure what they'd be like. And it's so much fun just checking out a game, learning it, playing it as far as you want, really, and then getting entered into it. Our favorite play and win was the Lord of the Rings adventure book, I think. We did the first campaign mission in that, and it really made me want to win it to finish it. So now I'm gonna have to pick that up at some point.
Yeah,
we tried Herstory, which was really cool. I loved the theme. I loved seeing all the women on the cards. One thing to note, Expeditions was always checked out. That was the most popular one at Geekway that I saw, or didn't see, as it was an empty shelf. I think we did about 6 or 7 play and wins. You won a few of them, I believe, didn't you, Carol?
Yeah, we won. My husband, because you only can win one. My husband won Savernake Forest, which is the one the kids really liked. And I actually won Cora Quest, which I was also really excited to play with the kids. So I'm really excited for those. But yeah, I noticed I was returning Savernake Forest at, I believe, 11:45 on Saturday night. And it closed at midnight. And there were literally people at the door of the play and win stalking to see if anyone returned Expeditions so that they could get checked out for the night. Expeditions was insane for the play and win.
Yeah, that was one that was really, there was no finding it. I mean, obviously some people did, since the copies were won, and subsequently ended up on eBay. And I don't fault them that. I think they were asking a little bit much. I think they were asking like $200 and then like 21 shipping. But the way I figured it, I mean, they could already have it pre-ordered, or that might have been a way to try and supplement the cost of the game. I think I probably have less of a problem with it due to the fact that, it's a Stonemaier game. It doesn't go out of print. And so nobody is going to, be wringing their hands, wishing they could get a copy when, they're going to be plentiful. So I wasn't too heartbroken about that, but it was really cool seeing it on the table at the Stonemaier booth, which was a first for me to encounter. In the past, I've worked, and I will again this year, work for MeepleSource at Gen Con. And, that's kind of been Stonemaier headquarters at the convention there. But now with Dave running the Stonemaier convention presence, it should be fun to see, what involvement Dave has in that MeepleSource booth, and if that will eventually evolve into Stonemaier having their own booth at Gen Con. But it was really cool seeing a Stonemaier booth, manned and selling the Stonemaier products, and then having expeditions actually out for people to approach and play. So I know you guys stopped at the booth there and picked up some Stonemaier stuff, and I picked up the new promos for Rolling Realms. But what'd you guys think of that Stonemaier booth?
I mean, it was an incredible job, I thought. What was great was, I think they had all the Rolling Realms. They had the new ones that just came out this week, which we all picked up. And they kept telling us the disc golf discs, the Frisbee golf, were super popular, which was kind of cool. Some things that are a little bit harder maybe to ship, or you don't always pay for just to ship, were there. And they were really... people were buying them. I bought one extra one. We found an orange and blue Megan disc that we're like, ooh, we got to have that one. And they also had, I really like, they had the full-on table that had expeditions out on it. So you really got a sense of like, okay, this is how it's going to look on like a regular game table. Molly?
I loved the booth. It was, like I said, my first convention, so I don't have the experience of there not being a Stonemaier booth. It seems obvious to me to have one. I really liked meeting Dave there, and as shipping can be a lot in Canada, I picked up quite a bit there, actually. I picked up the tapestry rubber mat, as that ships separately. I got Wingspan neoprene mats. My wife and I disc golf a lot, so I got a whole stack of discs. We got a Megan one, too. It's my wife's new putter. Got the viticulture wine glasses, which don't ship to Canada. So I loved the booth. It was fun. We took some pictures, the three of us, in front of the Stonemaier sign too.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Dave did a great job putting that together. And there was always somebody, they were trying to encourage people. If they saw expeditions out being played, they were trying to encourage people like, hey, we can help you with that. We can help teach you other Stonemaier games. So they seemed like a very interactive crowd too at the booth.
Yeah, that's a good point. It wasn't just for selling stuff. It was a little Stonemaier headquarters you could go to get someone to teach you a game.
So with that, we actually also have, and we'll kind of tag this in at the end, as we also want to go over some Stonemaier updates, but we did get an interview in with Susanna, who is one of the newer faces at Stonemaier Games. So I did get to talk with her for a few minutes. Can't tell, Molly and I have talked with her a lot online. So she was kind enough to do an interview for us and kind of let us know kind of her role at Stonemaier Games in case you've never seen her before. So we'll tag that on probably at the end of this video, I'm assuming. But then, Dusty, I think we're on to maybe some newsletter updates.
Before we go to the newsletter, I just wanted to mention a few more things about games, because I kind of only talked about like my favorite game, but I also wanted to mention that the last game we played was a Stonemaier game. We played a 5-person game of Tapestry with all 3 expansions mixed in. And for a few people, I think it was the first time having fantasies and futures mixed in. We were supposed to drive home that morning, and we ended up playing like 5 hours of Tapestry. And I just wanted to talk about how fun that was. And that was the most epic game I got to play with Dusty as well. And I got to use the new mat, and that was just another highlight of the convention. So the first game I played, the last one, and then if I wanted to mention one more, it was the one Horrified, which we played with Jamie, that came down to the last life and the last card. Just so many fun games at that convention.
We had a lot of thematic throwing anatomy books at different monsters and horror that morning. That was a great Saturday morning.
So before we moved on, I can't recommend Geekway enough to anyone. And we have different experience in it. It was my first convention, and I'm definitely going to go back next year. I would book it right away if you could.
Yeah, I think so. This was my first time attending Geekway, and the only conferences or the cons I've ever attended are pretty much Gen Con, which is really more of a marketing kind of a sales kind of convention. And so I really wasn't sure what to expect with Geekway. You know, I heard, oh, well, you go and play games, and I was a little unsure how you go about doing that, but it really was cool because at Gen Con, you can really feel like you're just lost in the crowd. Like you are just one of the masses, and you could know that your friends are there and just never see them because it is such a huge facility and across multiple buildings and multiple hotels and football stadiums, and whereas Geekway was a much smaller convention, but so much friendlier. Not that Gen Con isn't friendly, but at Geekway, you are going to bump into your friends. I mean, it's not difficult to find them, especially if they're in a gaming hall. There's only a couple of those, and I say none of that to disparage it because I think it's probably, aside from just the spectacle that is the sales floor at Gen Con, I do think it is probably my new favorite convention. But I did want to mention also, Molly, that 5-player game of Tapestry, that was a really good time. I mean, it was definitely a marathon game, and that had everything to do with the fact that we had a learning game. Susanna had her kid there who was like dominating and doing so well at that game, and I was probably distracting her. We were talking Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, which is something that I'm playing the heck out of these days, and apparently so are they over in that household. So it was a long game. It did not feel that long because it was just like you mentioned, just having the conversations across the table and having a good time, just spending time. I think Molly, you ended up sharing a mat, and I ended up sharing a mat, or I was actually just kind of Josh's. He was running the board, and I was just kind of he was telling me what his plans were, but it was still a really good time. I definitely played more games at Geekway than I have at Gen Con. In one time at Geekway, more games that I played at Gen Con in years. So definitely a good convention and good idea to bring up and talk more games.
It was, and I second that. We had a 12-hour drive home after that Tapestry game, and I still, it didn't feel long. It was definitely worth it. The time flew by. And like you said, there were 7 of us playing it because me and my partner shared a mat so that we could fit Susanna's acquaintance, Ammon, in to the game. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I only got to I said goodbye to you guys. I was part of the interruptions, but that would have been great. It looked so fun. I wanted to stay and help Susanna's Dar so bad. She had one of my favorite new fantasy factions. It was so fun to play.
We all had long drives, though.
We did, but she did so good on her own. Just watching her, Susanna's like, maybe you want to place this building here. She's like, I know what I'm doing. And she did. She was putting the buildings in the right place, and the whole thing was impressive.
Yeah, I love it.
It was.
Yeah. Like I said, that was a really, because I've done Gen Con. I've done some smaller cons. I kind of like the medium size of Geekway. Kind of like the 3 little bears, not too big, not too small, just right. I had that feeling to it. Maybe we can, I took a picture. I don't know if you took some pictures too, Molly, but I know I have at least half of the main hall, a picture of it, just to kind of give people a scope of what that is that maybe we can pop up.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I think
it really
one
was.
day,
so you can go.
I was sorry. I think at one point I was, they had the grill in the gaming hall where you could get food, and I think at one point I panned the crowd. So I'll go ahead and make sure you have that, and if you want to include that as kind of be real or kind of to show off, kind of the main playing area, and you also see where the vendor space was. But I'll make sure that's available for you. But Molly, what were you going to say?
Well, now to reply to you, that sounds great. That grill had really good meatless meatball sandwiches, is what I want to say. What I was going to say, though, was just it was perfect for us. For us, it was a whole adventure because we're in Canada. We had a 12-hour drive, so we had like nights of sleeping on the way. We saw cities in the US. We had non-board gaming adventures, and like I got my nails done in scythe colors. Like it was just fun all around. Like I'm definitely every year I want to have that adventure over and over again now.
It was definitely an experience that I would definitely be up for again. That was a good time for sure.
Okay, that's all I wanted to say, I think. I mean, I could talk forever on it, keep mentioning things. Like the fancy gaming was really fun. We played Obsession for that with Susanna, but
all right, well now you poked the bear. So what is fancy gaming?
Oh, you didn't know? So fancy gaming, you sign up for it before you go, and they have one of the big ballrooms there has like a bar open, and everyone just dresses fancy. And you don't have to play fancy games, but we played Obsession. We might play Rococo next year, and it's just fun. You just have a fancy little party in the ballroom with the big round tables. One group came in and played Mysterium, and everyone dressed like the characters from Mysterium. So someone walked in a ghost costume, and I was like, what is that? And then they came in carrying the box, and it was a fun event for the final night.
Yeah, I think that was one that Josh ran downstairs for something. He came back to the hotel room and he goes, so I just encountered some people in the elevator. This guy was wearing like a full length nightgown and cap, like an old timey, I picture it as like kind of British Mary Poppins, kind of like at night. And they got the long full nightgown, and he had a candlestick. And then his companion there for the night was wearing just like a really fancy dress. And according to Josh, and he's like, just open the elevator, and they're like, good evening.
Yeah, there was a lot of people dressed like that. It was a lot of fun. Next year I got to up my game. I wasn't sure how fancy it would be.
Well, what's hilarious is like in contrast to that, so you guys were in that fancy ballroom. Right next to you, Dusty, Josh, Ben, and I were playing, what was it, Blazon? I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Yeah. We were playing that out of the Play and Win. And then while you guys were finishing that up, we were doing, I would say, the polar opposite. And Ben and I were playing with people we're doomed till late into the night. So it's like Geekway has such variety. Like, as I said, literally 2 ballrooms right next to each other. There is a chaotic We're Doomed, and then super fancy party, Obsession, Mysterium, like Elegance. And it's like, wow, that's really cool. You can have that contrast that close and everyone's happy.
There was someone playing Scythe in the fancy gaming too, and I thought like that'd be a great costume if you had like steampunk outfits. Great game, sorry. Love to see that one year.
I think next year Josh might be about the fancy gaming. He's doing some kind of cosplay for Gen Con this year, and he, I guess, got a dollar store top hat or something, or some discount store. So he's planning.
That's great. We should all do it next year.
I would probably have to go the cosplay thing. I don't really have any fancy clothes. I'm kind of like, blue jeans and a t-shirt kind of person, but I could make it work.
Yeah.
I mean, I have some lion ears and a lion tail from Twilight Imperium.
That would be a long game.
That's not all I got.
Fancy gaming.
I don't think I could handle that during fancy gaming hours.
Start Twilight Imperium at like 10 p.m.
Oof.
No, thank you.
Okay, for real now, though. I think I got all the Geekway out of my system.
I think we could very easily make this a much longer episode and just keep talking about all the stuff we played. And I would be fine with that. Did we have more questions about Geekway, or were we moving on to newsletter at
Nope,
this point?
I think we're on to newsletter, Dusty. You want to take the lead?
Yeah, so I have to imagine we are going to be seeing this Wednesday newsletter. Just full disclosure, we're doing this on Tuesday, so we're making some guesses here, but I think they're good, solid guesses. We are going to see, I'm sure, in that newsletter that we have the Rolling Realms rounds. I think those are confirmed that we're going to see the ones that were at Geekway. The 4 new realms are going to be in the newsletter and available for sale. And then we're going to see those vision-friendly wingspan cards. And we don't have a price for it on Tuesday. By tomorrow, we'll know those prices. I am curious, and maybe you two know, or one of the two of you know, I don't think this is like an all-inclusive kind of thing. I think there's going to be a pack of base cards that are vision-friendly, and then a pack of European expansion that are vision-friendly, and then a pack of Oceania and then Asia, right? Or do you think that this is an all-inclusive? I was of the impression, I think it was just expansions and base games sold separately.
My understanding was they are sold separately so that you can just buy I'll call them promo packs. They're not really promo packs, but you can buy the packs for just the expansions you own, and you'll never have to worry about that overlap or double buying any or anything. Just you pick them up expansion by expansion is how I believe it works.
Yeah, I just tried pulling up the newsletter again here that we know of so far and looking on the website, and it doesn't say yet, but I would assume both of you are right that they're going to do it by expansions. If, as Dusty said, we're doing this on Tuesday, if we find out more, one of us maybe we'll put like some text up, or we'll shoot a little extra, and we can let you know for sure if it's different than that.
Those cards are neat, though. For anyone who doesn't know, they took the facts off the bird and they made the background of all the abilities white, so you're always reading a more contrasted lettering. There's no like black on brown. Everything is a little bit bigger, a little bit cleaner, and you lose some of the fun flavor text, but it's very playable for you in that way. I have one friend who for sure is going to get them. She does not like reading the tiny font.
I was going to ask if either of you planned on picking it up or knew of anyone picking it up, because I would be really interested in knowing like that improved experience for them, if it is like a game changer, I guess, that it's a much better experience. Personally, I don't have anyone that I'm picking those up for, but I'm really glad that they exist.
Yeah, not to mention, I'll have to ask my in-laws, actually, especially over during the pandemic. That's like their one gamer's game is Wingspan that they'll play with us. And I haven't asked them yet, but I'm wondering if they might like those. I know they like the flavor text too. But yeah, if I end up picking it up for them, I'll definitely let you know.
That might be an opportunity for another, we already have like Wingmate, or the one that plays music. You might have the opportunity there for someone to go ahead and scan the card, and then it'll read the fact that was actually on there. Maybe I'll reach out to Tim Cherna and see if that's something he wants to add.
It's a great idea.
Really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and then there was one more product that we found out is launching this week. Molly, I think that one's in your area of expertise.
Sure. So I hadn't heard of this before, but we should have the 2 new discs released for the disc golf, like these ones. I don't have the pictures of the new ones, but I know one of them is Expeditions and the other is for Smitten, I believe.
Yeah, it looked like it had some maybe adorable little kitty cats on there. I know, we're all surprised, more cats. But.
Some kitties on one and then a mech on another. I would love to I have the Scythe one with the mech on it. It'd be nice to have that's a putter. It'd be nice to have another mech in my disc golf bag.
Cressida
Yeah.
approves of the kitty cat version, don't you?
The kitten disc, and I guess that's a tribute to Smitten, but you know, they can't add colors to it. It's single. I have to believe, like, looking at it, one of those cats is really fuzzy. That's got to be Walter and Biddy.
For sure, I almost said that, but because they all correspond to a game, I'm pretty sure it's slotting in as Smitten.
Yeah, it says
that.
it's fine and is smitten, but we all know what those cats are.
Yes.
And then the Rolling Realms promos. Did we mention which realms those were for everyone?
No, why don't you
I
talk
do.
about them, Molly? Because we
Sure, I do have them here.
Played a few of them.
Yeah, so one of them is Skulk Hollow, which is really fun. It hits you back, so you gotta get things done before it takes away stuff from you.
Yeah,
And then
I was a
there
big
was-
fan of Skull Hollow when we played it. If you've played Skull Hollow, it's thematic. That beast is gonna get you.
And then there's Parks, which was also thematic. You just have a nice stroll through some parks, checking stuff off, missing what you pass by, so you can't take too long. And then Tricarion was the third one, which is a really fun one, but I'm having trouble getting 6 stars in it ever. It's a tough one, to warn y'all. And then, of course, the 4-game solo campaign, which I don't have I have it in with my mini golf ones. Haven't tried that yet. Carol and I are going to go through that together later, I think.
I think you have the right idea there. I really need to put a package together of just you know, a single player for Rolling Realms and just take that to work with me, because yeah, on my lunch break I could go ahead and get in some of that the Realmaverse or into the Realmaverse, which I think that's really a cool idea. I mean, mini golf was a really good add-on to Rolling Realms. That solo mode there was nice, but then as more and more of this content comes out, you're like, are we ever going to be able to implement these new realms, these promo realms, into mini golf? And while you can't into mini golf, into the Realmaverse gives you another means by which to bring those promos into the game. And really, if there's only a few that are excluded, right? So that you could have an infinite number, of near infinite number, as far as, you know, how many you'll actually get around to playing, but you know, just a different Realmaverse campaign every single time. And I think that's a cool way to go about it.
Yeah, me too. It'd be totally different every single time. There's way too many realm combinations to ever worry about that. And we're not even at the end of them coming out. It was really cool at Geekway seeing all the promos side by side at their booth there. You don't quite realize when you buy them 3 at a time how many there are.
We need to go revisit that image that Jamie had printed. You know, once upon a time, showed all the promos standing and be like, kind of cross them out. We got this, we got this, we got this, and see how many are still remaining. That might be kind of fun to take some guesses on it.
That was so fun. All the detective work going on in the Stonemaier Discord and on Facebook. People like color matching boxes off Board Game Geek and finding out it's like Architects beforehand and Arc Nova. I wonder how many of those we have now. That's a good point. It's been a while since I looked at that picture.
Well, I mean, at this point, we don't even know for sure if some of the ones we're getting were in that stack.
That's
yes,
true.
True, yeah.
So yeah, a lot of mysteries. I think that's it for the products updates from the Stonemaier letter or Stonemaier this week, right?
Yeah, I as far as we know, I think, you know, if something gets you know, we get surprised with something, but I think that's what we can be fairly confident of. And that last bullet point that we had to talk about was expeditions, right?
Yes,
yeah, which is it's coming up fast.
There's definitely been some new video content that people have been putting out on that one.
Yeah, with it being a pre-order, we've been able to see things a lot sooner than we normally would with a new Stonemaier title. It's been a lot of fun seeing that and knowing it's coming. July, I think they're on track still for it.
Yeah, I think that's the plan. And as of right now, Dusty has an unboxing that he did the previous week, and Stella has something online that also does a little bit of unboxing. And I believe that the day we're recording this, right? It was today that One Stop Co-op Shop did a full playthrough of the solo mode. So I believe all of that as of right now, so we're doing this the Tuesday before this airs, is out for people, in addition to the fact that Rodney Smith has already done his Watch It Played, and Jamie's done however many videos on it. So yeah, there's a lot of expeditions out there.
There is, and that's really been one of the real unique aspects of this launch is the fact that it was a pre-order, and we knew so much going into that pre-order, and had kind of the full view of what this was going to be. It's the first time in a long time. Actually, it's the first time since I've been getting preview copies of these Stonemaier games that Jamie was just like, you guys aren't reviewers, so just put up what you want whenever you want. Usually there's a date. We don't call it an embargo date, but there's a date that we can talk about things. And when the fact that we're not reviewers means that we can just talk about it whenever. Jamie's already had his fun of showing everything that there is inside the box. So it has been really kind of cool. I mean, normally when there's a I don't know a better word than embargo date, a street date that we can start talking about stuff, usually we'll see, just a bunch of videos all drop at the same time. And you really have to kind of pick and choose what you're going to go through. If you have a favorite creator or something, versus this kind of just posting as they want to. There's a date which reviewers can talk about the review, and that's so that no one has to rush through. They've had their copy, they can play it, they can form an educated opinion, and there's not the rush to like, let me get up first, because that's definitely, especially in social media, there's the race to be the first person to post anything, because that's going to get the most eyes. And so the fact that the reviews have a certain date, it's good, but it is kind of nice to see it being spaced out, so you can watch Stella's video, and then if you want to watch the unboxing, you can watch it on the mill, or the one stop co-op shop, their playthrough. I wasn't aware that was the solo playthrough, but it's awesome. And there's probably some creators who are have a healthy competition, maybe some with some unhealthy competition, that they want to put their stuff out and be the one that eyes are. But there's so many different voices and people making content that it shouldn't be a competition. We should welcome as many people talking about this thing that we love as possible. And so, like, I know that we have planned more expeditions content for sure. And this is not really a planning meeting or anything, but is there anything that you guys are hoping to do expeditions wise to show off your copies, your preview copies that you have or will have soon?
I don't know what you're talking about, Dusty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually thinking, Dusty got his first and he got his unboxing in, and I just got my non-review early copy this weekend. Got to play it 4 players, and I'm currently have a solo game completely out underneath all of this. And so I was thinking I'm probably at some point like, oh, these are these little things that we didn't notice in our first game because it was our first game. So I'm kind of thinking I might try to get a video out at some point here in the near future before the full release of here's what you might want to know or might want to think about before your first game when you know literally nothing about it.
I'm excited to try my hand at unboxing, which you've already done one, but I'm getting the other edition with the metal mechs, so it'll be fun to show those off. We have I think I have games planned for all the player counts, including 5, so it'll be fun to get it to the table a bunch and be able to talk about it in another video and how it played at all player counts. And I also wanted to say it's fun to take pictures during it and post it on our new Instagram we have that Carol made, which is, do you have the, or we can post it in the link in the description below.
SM_the_mill on Instagram, however fancy you get with Instagram. But yeah, I've been trying to post. Yeah, didn't know I used to be a photojournalist, so I'm all into the pictures. So if you want more pictures, especially of Stonemaier, we're trying to get more with putting our pictures up since this is more video content. All of us love pictures, and I particularly take a lot. So we're going to be posting those on Instagram as well if you want to follow us there.
Yeah, and here I am. I'm the one that's just terrible at taking pictures, and I was sitting there at the end of the game, and I'm like, I better take some pictures for the for the Instagram. I did go ahead and starting last week, the description or the link to the Instagram is in the show notes. So if you click on description, you can find a link there. Also, the channel itself, the YouTube promo or page, I guess, where it talks about the channel. I threw the link to Instagram there too. So you should see a link to the Twitter, which I should just remove because I haven't been maintaining that. And the Instagram, which is actually being maintained rather well. So I'll send some pictures along for that too. But it's silly. I really do. One of the things I was most looking forward to when Jamie had, mentioned that, I had come to him a little while ago and said, I might have to put the brakes on the mill. I got too much going on in life. It's too hard right now. And he had mentioned, wanting to, well, what would, he goes, of course you're entitled to, do whatever you want, but what would you think about adding some co-hosts? And, obviously we know how that turned out, and that is worked out really well. But one of the things I was most excited when he said, and we can send on preview copies to them too. And it's a nice perk to get a copy of a game from a company you love, and have it before other people. So I was really excited to see the shipping notices, you guys saying how, keeping track of it's on, it's gonna be here tomorrow, or it just arrived. And now, Molly, we're just waiting to hear that you got your copy in hand, and looking forward to seeing that unboxing.
It's really exciting. I've been tracking it every day. It doesn't move every day, but I've been tracking it every day.
Yeah, we definitely had people over because mine came on a Saturday, and my husband definitely saw the box first and tried to hide it on me. I was like, oh, no. So that's the first game I've ever literally unboxed the box, taken it out, and immediately set it on the table and opened it and started playing. Like,
that's so good.
Hadn't ever played it before, and I need to try this one out right now.
See, and that right there is the problem with doing unboxing videos, when you want it to be legitimately watch me rip the shrink wrap off, because it's sitting there and you're like, oh, I don't have time to film today. And it just sits there and taunts you.
Yeah, sorry, Dusty. You're really good at the unboxings. You can keep that.
Yeah. It's fine, but it is a little bit torturous, and especially with this, having play tested it, knowing that I did enjoy it and do enjoy it, and also looking forward to your video of mistakes not to make on your first playthrough, which I would have benefited from, because you did point out that I had the end game condition wrong, and I did. So I don't think it would have made a difference in the game Josh and I played, but I think he probably would have liked the chance to maybe add some more points to the table there before the end of the game.
It's a great idea. I often search common rule mistakes for a new game I'm playing if I'm not quite sure, and sometimes you'll find other people going through same little hiccups like that, and you can avoid some of them. So Carol can help people with some of those pitfalls, maybe.
Yeah, there is, probably worth mentioning, there is one tile in the north of Expeditions that has the wrong corruption value on it. And you can play it as written on the card, which is 5 corruption, 5+ corruption. But, you are supposed to do, it's either 7+ or 8+, I believe.
8+, yeah.
8+.
Nope, we ran into it, and I was like, sorry, guys, this is actually meant to be 8. We're playing with 8.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, clearing corruption, those are worth dollars at the end of the game, and it's worth, it's a boast category. So you want to get those extra tiles out there.
Yeah, you definitely want more of it out there. It's much more advantageous to vanquish the corruption than to, have another easy one out there.
I think the real struggle for me now is, do I buy a set of map tokens from Side, the metal ones from Meeple Source? Do I buy another 2 sets for Expedition? And then do I buy it its own dang container of coins? That is the question.
I bought a second container of the coins, so they're all in here right now. But we do have 2 sets, and I bought the alternate 5s, but then I just, like, the One Ring was like, I'll keep them all. So now both the 5s are in here. It's just a lot of metal coins, but they're such nice metal coins for like any game almost.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, my husband 3D prints the Scythe metal coins containers. So
that's a good idea.
You guys up with it next time. I don't have it on me because we actually gave ours away to a friend. He needs to reprint us a new one, but it's like the most convenient thing because we do the exact same thing. We keep our container of Scythe metal coins on the board game shelf and use it for everything.
Gonna have to redesign the lid of that thing to say Scythe and Expeditions or Scythe Petitions or something.
I'm just excited to try all the player mech combos too, and just field all those out. It's fun looking at the minis and like reading the abilities, but playing them and experiencing them, I'm really excited for that. And I get to be yellow with every mech. I love that.
Yeah. I have to say, I'm a huge fan of Changa here. The nice tiger. I was like, oh, that one's awesome.
I love that the animal sidekicks are still around.
Yes.
There's such a nice touch to it.
It is. That is one of the things and even, I thought that the animals all had the same power originally when I was talking to Josh, and they don't. They're each one's different, so the players are different, the animals are different, although the companions do stay with the player, the player character itself. But as you mentioned, the mechs themselves have their own asymmetric ability, and they're different from each other. And even the design is thematic. I mentioned it in the unboxing, but for those that didn't see it, it's like one of the mechs has just like, it's the Marsh Strider or something like that, has really long legs, and that mech has the power of extra movement. Instead of moving 0 to 3, you have 0 to 4. And it's the little things like that I really appreciate, that kind of thought went into the design of that mech, that this one has more movement because it has longer legs. Carol, you're muted.
Thank you. I would say I'm currently playing Odin's Wrath, which is that boat one that I really, really like. And the power on that is you can trash a map tile for some other benefit. But the idea is that you're on the boat, so you're going to explore more. You're going to have more map tokens, so you're having an advantage with maps and exploration.
It is nice that it. It's nice that it has that extra, because as the map tokens, they're a boast category, but other than that, they're not worth anything unless there's a card I haven't encountered yet. But it's nice that there is that option of, hey, I'm going to cash these extra tokens in that maybe I don't need beyond the boast, and have some use for it. The one I played a game with Josh. And I think it was Lumberjack was the mech. I think it has, and that was the one where your vanquish cost 1 less of each color. So, if it's normally a 4 power to vanquish, it's only 3. And if it's the blue ones, then it's 1 less. And that did help, and probably helped me get that 20 location vanquish that tile there for the corruption.
Yeah, you're talking about the map tokens. Naturally, of course, I have this lovely combo here. The portal orb here, when you put the purple worker on it, gains you a map token. And then whenever you gain a map, you get $1 if your location number is odd and $2 if it's even. So I can assure you there are cards here that correspond with map tokens and make them more valuable.
That's awesome.
Plus expansions, you never know what's coming. There's room in the box already for them.
Yeah, that was something. So I did, I mentioned in the unboxing too, is like, the box says, this particular compartment is for the player rings, and there is that same kind of indent that they could possibly have mechs there, but there's also an indent. It could match, other things. If there's perhaps, they could do a variable mech powers or something like that you could swap things around. I'm not sure what that would look like, but there's certainly room in the well for extra tiles. And I guess I confused people by the way I packed up my box, and the tiles went all the way to the top, and so they're like, I thought there was going to be room for more, and I'm like, that's my bad. I should have dropped it all the way down.
I saw that did confuse people, but also I loved the tip, and that's how I'm going to put mine in there as well.
Yeah, it is nice to I guess have the south and the central and the north all separated. Helps with setup for sure.
Yeah, there's definitely extra space in there, and it is definitely like you don't know what it could be that goes in there.
I do think, I pointed out, how tightly packed that insert is, and just like get that lid off. Like you really, like I had to take the insert out to get the lid off. But from an organization perspective, I think it's one of the better inserts that's just been in a base game that wasn't purchased or an add-on. So total net positive for me. I got to work a little harder to get the stuff out, but it's not going to be sliding around either. So a little bit of one, a little bit of the other, I guess.
Yeah. So I think we covered Geekway. We've covered the new products there on order on Stonemeier's website. We've covered updates on expeditions. I don't think we have anything else, do we, guys?
I can't think of anything.
No, I don't have anything extra.
All right. You want to send us off, Dusty?
Oh, sure. Let's do the whole tagline, why don't we? So until next time, thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves and each other. Bye.
Hello everyone, I'm Carol, and today I am here at Geekway to the West with Susanna, who is one of the newer faces from Stonemaier Games, and I'm going to let Susanna tell us about what do you do for Stonemaier.
Yeah, so I'm the retailer relationship manager, and I get to work with friendly local game stores who sell our games to make sure they have what they need from us in every way that they need it, and providing the same level of customer service and support that Stonemaier is known for, but in the hobby game space to retailers.
Awesome. So, Susanna, you've been to Geekway to the West before. This is the Mill's first time.
Yeah.
Why do you love Geekway?
Oh, I love Geekway because it is the friendliest, funnest convention that I have been to. People are so willing to play games with strangers who then become good friends.
100%.
Right?
Oh, yes. All weekend.
The play and win is amazing, and it's just the most relaxed, wonderful, friendly gaming experience.
Everyone wants to game with everyone.
Exactly.
Yes, that's been great. And finally, because we're the Mellon at Stonemaier Games,
Yes.
Susanna, what is your favorite Stonemaier game and why?
Tapestry, because it is beautiful, engaging, different every time, and just a ton of fun. And in fact, we're setting up a 5-player game with all expansions right now.
Well, thank you, Susanna, for letting us put you on the spot.
I'm so glad you got to come, Carol. This is the best.
All right.
Yeah.
And we'll see you later.
Yeah.
Bye.